The gavel slammed down with a thunderous finality, echoing through the cold, sterile courtroom. Nnamdi Kanu's heart sank as he realized the magnitude of what had just happened. What should have been a victory had turned into humiliation. Papers that promised justice were twisted into chains of betrayal. The judge's eyes, once perceived as impartial, now carried the weight of calculated disregard. Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Even the lawyers on his side seemed frozen, powerless. Kanu's fists clenched, the leather of his briefcase creaking under the force. Every fiber of his being screamed against the injustice unfolding before him. The Federal High Court, the institution meant to uphold truth, had turned its back. The whispers of political interference, long suspected, now felt like daggers slicing through his chest. He remembered his journey, how he had fought for a cause bigger than himself, how he had believed in the sanctity of law. Yet here, in the very place designed to protect the innocent, betrayal tasted bitter and metallic. After a moment, Kanu spoke, voice steady but charged with fire. "My name is Nnamdi Kanu. And this is not over." The courtroom emptied, leaving Kanu alone with the echo of injustice bouncing off marble walls. His eyes traced the empty benches, imagining the thousands who had placed their hope in him. Lawyers whispered in corridors, their faces tight with unease. The Federal High Court had spoken, but its words were not justice. They were a verdict of silence, complicity, and betrayal. Kanu's mind raced. He had anticipated resistance, yes, but this blatant twisting of law and influence felt like a knife to the spine. Political forces, long hidden behind bureaucratic veneers, had shown themselves. Every strategy he had relied on now seemed inadequate. He remembered the promises made to his supporters, the countless speeches, the rallies, the quiet nights plotting strategies to protect a movement. And now, in a single shocking ruling, the law he revered had sided with oppression. The anger surged, mingling with clarity. Kanu realized revenge would not come as violence. It would come as exposure, as truth laid bare. He would fight not just for himself, but for the principle that betrayal in the highest court could not be ignored. "My fight is just beginning," he murmured, gripping his papers. "They may have silenced the gavel, but they will never silence the truth." Late at night, in a dimly lit office, Kanu sifted through documents, his eyes red but unyielding. Names, dates, correspondences, each a thread in a web of corruption and betrayal. The very people entrusted to uphold justice were pawns in a game of influence he had only glimpsed until now. Every revelation stoked the fire in him. Faces flashed in his mind. Judges, lawyers, politicians, all wearing masks of neutrality while orchestrating outcomes behind closed doors. Betrayal wasn't a single act. It was a symphony, conducted in secret chambers far from public view. He paused over a particular document, a court transcript that revealed an unseen hand guiding decisions. A cold realization gripped him. He was not fighting just for freedom, but for truth itself. And truth demanded exposure. Kanu's hands trembled, not with fear but with determination. The betrayal had cut deep, but it had also sharpened his resolve. He would outmaneuver this shadow network with the same cunning they had employed. "I will shine a light where they hide in darkness," he whispered, voice low but unshakable. "Every secret will see daylight, every lie will crumble." Messages pinged on encrypted phones, some with hope, others with veiled threats. Friends, confidants, and potential allies weighed their words carefully. Every connection carried risk. Every alliance could be betrayal in disguise. Kanu understood now that loyalty was rare and precious, but the stakes demanded it. He convened a quiet meeting with trusted aides, tracing the court's decisions line by line. Strategies were plotted, contingencies prepared. The Federal High Court had underestimated him, and that miscalculation would be their undoing. Every angle, every loophole, every procedural trick would be leveraged in his favor. Yet trust remained fragile. A single misstep could mean ruin. Kanu's mind flickered briefly to the faces of those he had known for years. Could he truly rely on them? The answer came in resolve. He must lead alone if necessary, but with allies the fight would be stronger. The betrayal had cut him deeply, but it had also revealed the true battlefield. Law, politics, and hearts of men intertwined in a deadly dance. Kanu's eyes glimmered with fierce determination. "They think they control the game," he said. "But the player is only beginning to move." Dawn broke over the city, light spilling into Kanu's office, illuminating maps, files, and plans. He stood, hands on the desk, eyes hardened with purpose. Betrayal had been delivered publicly, cruelly, and with apparent finality, but this was not the end. Every injustice he had suffered became fuel. Every whispered lie, Every manipulated ruling, every attempt to silence him now transformed into a strategy for redemption. His fight would not be merely personal, it would expose corruption, reclaim dignity, and galvanize those who had been betrayed alongside him. Kanu's gaze lingered on the court building across the street. Its walls had once seemed impregnable, symbols of authority now tainted by treachery. But he knew its power was an illusion. Its legitimacy rested on perception, and perception could be shattered. He drew a slow breath, a calm resolve settling over him. I will not bend. I will not break. This betrayal will be their undoing, and truth will rise, unshaken, unafraid. With that, he began drafting his next moves: legal appeals, public statements, meticulous plans that would turn injustice into reckoning. The battle was far from over, but for Nnamdi Kanu, betrayal had ignited the fiercest fire of his life.
Thank you for watching Revenge by Pita. Remember, in a world of deceit and betrayal, justice doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any cinematic tale of love gone cold or family betrayal. Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember, revenge is not about hate, it's about restoring balance. This was Revenge by Pita, where silence speaks louder than vengeance.